on with the theme of light. Light being the source of all things, that light being the Father of lights, of which we are now. In the previous thing that I shared, I talked about how in time I received a revelation in time at a later time, but the beginning of that revelation had begun before I even had the encounter of receiving the revelation. And I equated that somewhat to the fact that before the foundation of the world, Christ was slain, but within time, that is when it was manifest. The reason I share that is for us to understand, first and foremost, who we are and whose we are. According to Scripture, we have existed with the Father before time began. Now, I at this moment, I can't think of the specific scriptures, but let's just look at the reality that outside of this construct of time, we are timeless in who we are and what we are, because we are children, or we are expressions or fractals of the very light that God is. We are that. Outside of time and space, that means that there is no beginning or end, but we have been in and with the Father. And being in and with the eternal means that as we as well have taken upon that nature of eternal reality. And when Jesus came to the earth, he said, I am the light of the world. But then he said he said to his disciples, he says, you are the light of the world. In other words, Jesus revealing that even as I am, so are you. And even Scripture says this. Jesus, I think it was John that wrote it, that even as he is, so are we in this cosmos. In other words, everything that is the nature of Jesus the Christ is also the nature of who we are, as we no longer living, but Christ that lives in us. And so I wanted to begin what I wanted to share here with that understanding that we are in truth and in nature the light of the world. And this is a reality that is not just some nice saying, but it is the truth. And I have had experiences in the unseen. And if you want to hear my understanding of what the unseen is, you can listen to my previous video. I've had experiences in the unseen where I have, let's just say that I have personally experienced being light. And I've also experienced releasing light in a way that has destroyed what some would call demonic influences, and even after the instances of experiencing these things, seeing in the natural realm a complete and real shift in the manner in which reality goes forward. And so when it comes to what the Father has been revealing to me, is that what we are seeing coming forth in this day as, quote, a revival, it's not really so much a revival as it is light becoming so prominent that there is, even as Scripture has said, there is nowhere to hide. There is no, everything that is hidden will be revealed. And we are coming into that day and hour where nothing can be hidden. And I can tell you, as a matter of fact, in the experiences that the Father's been bringing me through, there's things that, and instances where in functioning in the unseen realm, I have been able to hear things that people say. I have been able to communicate things in a way where in the physical natural realm it could not be communicated, but because of the nature of light that we are as children of God, this is not just me, we have a capacity to function even as he is, Jesus is, in everything that he has done in his divinity. We also do in the fact of the reality that we now have been granted that place in the family of divinity that is, even as Jesus is, so are we. Now, I want to talk about the nature of us being light and what that means for us in what you would call the higher dimensions. And I don't even like to use the word dimensions. I call it higher densities of light, which people would call the spiritual realm or the heavens. People talk about the first, second, and third heaven, and these realities that are unseen to us. But they are only unseen to us, as I shared in a previous video, because we are at a vibrational level of light that is unable to see the higher octaves of light that make up the cosmology of everything that is. But as a child of God, as a son of God, a daughter of God, this is the reality that is the most important of anything that I've shared up to this point. In the image and likeness of God, we have the capacity, even as Jesus, to be able to function in, to perceive, and to walk in every dimensional or every density of light that exists, from the highest frequency of light to the uncreated light that God is, to the ends of creation. We have the capacity to function in all of these, and we'll call them dimensions. There are dimensions, I can't really go into this right now. There are dimensions within densities of light. In other words, there is the earthly density, what we call we can call it the third density. Within that third density, there are dimensions. And also, as we go into other frequencies of light that are the unseen, where the angelic and other what you would call beings exist and function, we have the capacity to function in those densities, in dimensions within those densities. Dimensions are within densities. And maybe this is a lot to be speaking out. I don't want to overwhelm people with these things. The point is that we are the movement of God in this realm, in this physical realm. Everything that God does, he does through the agency of those that are created in his image and likeness, or I would say formed in his image and likeness. While yet the reality is that our very energetic essence is the light that God is. And our vessels are created to carry that light, to express that light. So there is nothing that transpires in any realm that is not processed through conscious, aware beings that are formed in the image and likeness of God, and for the purpose of expressing God within those densities or dimensions. And that's an encouragement, because the reality is that light that God is Christ in you. That light that you are. Jesus said you are. He doesn't say you carry the light of the world. He says you are the light of the world. You are the hand of God in the world, with the capacity to bring the realities of the higher dimensions or densities of heaven to bear upon the earth. And that's why Jesus said, pray that the kingdom of heaven, our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be your name, your kingdom come, your will be done. Where? On earth, even as it is in heaven. And that means that the realities of the unseen realm would become the realities of the seen realm. Because the realities of the unseen realm expressed within this seen realm, that is what the hope of glory is. That light that is Christ wanting to be revealed and manifest in all of the earth, that is the hope of glory. You are sons and daughters of God, and the glorious liberty of the sons and daughters of God is what all of this physical dimensional density is looking for and is groaning to be revealed within this reality. But the thing is, it's not just falling out of heaven. It's not just something that's just going to happen, fall out of the sky. It is coming forth through the agency of what I would call mankind that has come to recognize and remember who they are as the light of the world that God has purposely sent forth to reveal who God is to all of creation. Anyway, this is Kristen Couchy. Christ in you is the hope of glory. Blessings.